Beautiful. Francisco was started as a mission, just as many of the other cities, major cities in California. That corner area of my thumb and index finger, and up at the top would be what's called. It's not the best day to be taking a picture, and it's awfully hard to take a picture through a moving bus. But they do sell postcards along Fisherman's Wharf that was the federal prison for about 29 years. Breads and what we call cereal, the bush that they ate for breakfast. And there was on the other side of Market Street, James O'Farrell. And as you look at it, you see the windows circulating, and up above those little columns, people say that the architect did that to make it look like piano keys. See it all from a memorial building, which was dedicated for the veterans from World War I who lost their lives. And between the Opera House, which was where they drafted the UN Charter, it was signed in this war memorial. The other shore, residents living there didn't want the cars speeding with our tidal pools. And there's the stately Golden Gate Bridge. Which was built in 1937. There were 11 men who lost their lives building this bridge. For us on the West Coast, it's the symbol of America. So these are part of the military buildings from the Presidio, which is now part of the Golden Gate National Park. And one little girl on the bus when she saw that, she said, "Oh, Mommy, look at the tall ladder." And those cables, the two main cables, they're about 36.5 inches wide. There's enough steel, ecologically oriented community, many people of means, as well as a lot of artists and literati, and it's a delightful place to visit, and that's where Frank Lloyd Wright built Victorian, that little beige one down there on the waterfront. And luckily people moved up and would build these beautiful homes. And because we had Golden Gate Bridge is 1.6 miles in length. And Joseph Strauss innovated a number of things because he was very concerned about safety of his men in building this bridge. He was the first person to use hard hats on the job. At that time, hard hats were made of leather because we didn't have the plastics. Look at the right, look at this beautiful beach. Look right, you can see this little hazy, but you see the city skyline. You see Alcatraz out there. And former bridges, they were called ironworkers. And some of them could be a pretty confident, crusty kind of fellas in Spaceball team. Notice its flowers. As you go along different streets, you'll see beautiful flowers, and they're there year-round. This area of the city to make shopping and eating along the waterfront. A beautiful cafe on the left, which is the oldest restaurant in that area, and a charming place to go and eat, not real expensive. Down Pier 39, you can hear them burp, burp, burp. They're playing around and rolling all over one another, and it's an enjoyable thing to see. So if you do walk the wharf, I highly recommend you walk down Pier 39. And you always have entertainment. Just get a view here on the right. Everybody look right, even if you're talking, so that you can see Pier 39, and you see the kind of activity that's going on there. Now that goes on all day, every day, until about 9:30 at night. And now we're in the heart of Fisherman's Wharf, where the boat to Alcatraz goes. This is where you pick up your tickets for Alcatraz, and right behind it on the right, where that blue and gold, not blue and gold, the red and blue ferries are. That's where you board them to go to Alcatraz. The ride is only about, there's two different kinds of communities here. You have, of course, all of your entertainers and artists along here. They'll draw your picture for $5. There are people dancing. There are people doing mime. There are people doing somebody different. And on the left side are where most of the shops are, and the souvenir shops and the bookstore, the brand, and making the shapes of alligators, a creative shop. And then at the end, all the way at the end, there's a Nickelodeon type museum that's free to go in. You have to pay a quarter, you know, to look through those visual glass things and see them. And on the face of the building is a big freckled man on the beach, Ocean Beach in San Francisco. And that Laughing Sal and that's just a drawing of her, of course. And there are public bathrooms here in this octagonal house where it's the blue sign says public bathrooms, and they're usually clean. And then besides that, at Boudin, I told you upstairs, but they usually only do that for people who are attending their restaurant, unless you go in 2 or 3 of you, including students. You'll see some of your little characters here, Disney characters or whatever period. After they're through with their fishing, they'll take you out on the water and go under Golden Gate Bridge and give you their little commentary, which is more fish, and it stayed open until 1937, and it was a great place for immigrant women especially to be able to come and get work. And the Metairie, which is where the cable car is, but this is also where our maritime, you see the Balclutha there, and then to the right will be the Eureka, and then further right will be the other